algorithms in Python. Today we're gonna work on algorithms, which is called QuickSort algorithm. Let's begin. What is QuickSort algorithm? The QuickSort algorithm falls under the divide and conquer class of algorithms, where we break a problem into smaller chunks that are much simpler to solve. In this case, an unsorted array is broken into sub-arrays that are partially sorted until all elements in the list are in the right position, by which time our unsorted list will have become sorted. Let's talk about pivot selection. For the sake of simplicity, we will take the first element in any array as the pivot. This kind of pivot selection degrades in performance, especially when sorting an already sorted list. Randomly picking the middle or last element in the array as the pivot does not improve the situation any further. We need to implement this code, but before that we will talk about list partitioning. Before we divide the list into smaller chunks, we have to partition it. This is the heart of the QuickSort algorithm. To partition the array, we must first select a pivot. All the elements in the array will be compared with this pivot. At the end of the partitioning process, all elements that are less than the pivot will be to the left of the pivot, while all elements greater than the pivot will lie to the right on the pivot in the array. Let's talk about a list before we dive into the code. Here you can see 10, which is going to be our pivot, and we have some random numbers here, and this is our pivot and few more. First, look at this. We will sort this like if the numbers of this area are less than or greater than from the pivot, and then we sort this one according to the true or false. We will sort them in the list of greater number and the list of lower number. If the pivots are if the numbers are greater than pivot, it will store in the list of greater number, and if the numbers are less than the pivot, it will store in the list of lower numbers. If we give an example, 3 is less than 10, so it will go to the list of lower number, and after that if we start 15, which is greater than 10, it will go to the list of greater number, as well as 23 will go also to the list of greater number. Let's implement this. Fire up your favorite text editor. In this case, I'm going to use Jupyter Notebook. So first we'll define a function. We define a function of QuickSort and give it a parameter of sequence. After that, we'll take the length of the sequence, which is len. We're gonna use the built-in function len. My bad, I've miswritten this sequence. This is going to be the length of the sequence. After that, we're gonna use if length is less than or equal to 1, we will return our sequence. Else, pivot would be sequence dot pop. Pop will remove the sequence pivot number. After that, we'll take two empty list. which is items dot create underscore creator, which is going to be a blank list, and another is items dot lower, which is also going to be a blank list. Now we will loop through them. For item in sequence, we'll check if item is greater than the pivot, then items will be appended, items which is greater than the pivot. Greater dot append, we're going to use append function, and we're going to append is item. Else items underscore lower, that means the lower items will be appended, right? Other if they're less than the sequence. And after that, this thing will break the loop and return our function, which is QuickSort, including items underscore lower, then there would be the pivot, and lastly QuickSort items greater. That's how our algorithm will sort the lists. Now let's test it. We'll take our print and we'll take our function and we'll pass a sequence which is going to be a list. So in this case I'm going to throw like this, and let's run it. Here you can see the lists are completely sorted by the algorithm. This starts with the lower case and goes and include the pivot. It takes the others to this. So this is one, and now if I copy this and change few number just to give it a better view, I'm just going to append them as you can see. These numbers are lower than the pivot point, then is our pivot, and these are the greater than the pivot. That's how QuickSort algorithm works. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.